Hello everyone, and we're back with my implementation of FNAF inside of Unity. So we are in the main layout. We're going to go ahead and make some cuts really quick so we can get our backstage area cut with a door, and we're going to export this out and try to make it reflect this imagery we see here. There's really not a whole lot going on with the backstage besides the signs, a few of these shelves where we will eventually put animatronic heads, and then of course an endoskeleton, as well as some cabling and wires. Hopefully we'll get this done really quick and fast, so let's go ahead and jump to it. So we need to carve out a space where our door is actually going to go. That space not only needs to exist here on this side, but it needs to exist on the other side. So let's go to Insert Edge Loop Tool, and let's go to Relative, and let's just start putting some cuts down. We'll do one there and one there. W key, let's find where that is. Force it over there. Let's do a D and V to move it there, and V snap it over here. Do the same thing, double click, grab it there, and DV there, and move the whole thing to the inside of that door. Right click, go to face mode, go ahead and cut out those faces now. So we have a cut into the other room. Now we're going to use that cut to make our next cut. So we're going to save really quick, go in here, hold down shift, right click, insert edge loop tool again, do 1 and 2 as well. Move this on over and put it over there, and do the same thing for this one. Constrain and snap over there, move in over here. Right click, face mode, grab, delete, and save. And now we have those elements cut out. Once again, we're going to worry about actually merging these elements together in the actual door later on, just like with the other two spaces we've already worked on, including the bathroom area and the supply closet. For right now, we just need to grab this thing. Let's go to and rename this, what is this? Backstage underscore bounds. Save. Let's go to edit, delete by type, history on that, save, W key to see where that goes. I'm going to just snap this to one of the corners so it's easier for me to know where it is. And those are translate X, Y's, and Z's. Let's go ahead and go to File, and let's go to Export Selection. And I'm going to export this out as a scene, not as an FBX, but a Maya LT file. And let's do backstage underscore 01 underscore export, actually 00 underscore export. There we go. Save, file, open scene, and let's find backstage, so the B's. Great, so I'm going to go ahead and save this out really quick as backstage 01, and we're going to call this just modeling, and that's what we're going to try to finish up in this video really quick, is the basic modeling necessary to get this thing done. I'm going to move this off over here, so let's do actually modify. Let's do modify, center the pivot, D and V, and let's move you over here. Whoops, there we are, V, X, and snap, frame up. Now it's in the center of my world, makes it easy for me to work with. Looks like I did mess up one little bit. Edge, grab this one and that one, right click, and I'm probably going to want to bridge those two elements right there. But anyway, we have our bounds now. We're going to break this thing up into separate elements, just like in the other areas. If you haven't watched those other videos, I recommend you check them out. But basically, we're going to break things off into ceilings and floors. So there's extract faces, and I'm going to call this, let's see, poly surface, channel box, poly surface, and let's do backstage underscore ceiling. So backstage underscore ceiling, and we'll grab the bottom of this, so face, and grab all of you and shift right click and do an extraction on this and call this backstage underscore floor. Save, and grab the rest of this is just the sides of this thing, so we can just call this backstage underscore walls. Enter, save. And we don't have included in this right now all the nice materials and textures that we had already developed from before. So why don't we go to File, Import Selection, and find, let's see, bathroom. We can do the bathroom, we can do the supply closet. Let's do the supply closet. Excuse me, that's not what I wanted to do. I need to go to File, Import, Supply Closet 05. If we go over to Windows and our material and our Hypershade, we should have a nice selection of different materials right up here that we can begin sampling and working with, that we can use over here in our actual scene. Right now, things are split this way, across and over, and I'm trying to look here really quick, and for some reason, so that's my, let's get rid of this and this edge, get rid of those, so that works just fine. And do I have any other edges anywhere? So let's grab it. Yeah, I do. So let's get rid of the top one. I don't need these anymore. So these are separate objects now. So I'm going to get rid of those seams because I want those seams kind of mess up the size of my texture areas. Now I want to cut these up in ways that make my my texture a little bit easier to work with. What do I mean? Well, let's take a look at the reference material. The floor is easy enough. It's just going to be that checkerboard from before. The top is just a standard gray, heavily dirtied, nasty, but the wall itself does not seem to be the standard checker pattern. It just seems to be a flat color. So I don't know. We'll figure that one out. We might as well go ahead and open up Photoshop at the moment and start working with that, or at least have it open for when we jump in there. So let's jump to the floor, or at least hide some things. So this is going to be the ceiling. So if I right click, let's see existing materials. So let's go to supply closet. Let's see. Actually, let's do a few things. Let's condense my materials down into this. So let's go to window, and I want to go to general editors, and let's go to namespace editor. In the supply closet, let's delete and merge with root. Okay, close. So now if I come up here and right click and go to existing material, I'm using the same materials as before. Now really I should be merging things down into one common material at the end of the day, but for right now we'll just go with this. So see, there's bathroom ceiling right there. So if we take a look at it, that's what we're dealing with. I'm going to hide this stuff that's in my way, and I'm going to, I think, cut this in half. So shift right click. I'm not working with an absolute scale on things. A lot of times when you're working with games and whatnot, you'll decide that every meter or 2 meters is a texture sort of scale, and when you cut things up you stick to that scaling. I'm not doing that, which might come back to bite me in the ass, but we're just going to go with it right now. So let's see, what do I have? So you can see the seam right there. So let's go to right click faces, grab this one, UVs. We're going to get a little bit of stretching. I'm going to turn off keep image width and height. I'm going to do the same thing here and apply it to that one, and that will squash in one direction. But the idea is, let's take a look really quick and go to our UVs, UV editor, and take a look, and let's see where our UVs end and begin. So here's these two UVs. So this one's up there, that one's down there, and technically if they were tiling properly, one would transition flawlessly into the next, but that is not happening in this case. So let me see, let me grab, so that edge is that edge, that edge is that side, that edge is that side, but they're not going properly. So if I grab this face and we actually mirror this thing around, so let's go to transform, and let's go to flip along the V-axis, flip. Now that should mirror from one to the next. And since there's really nothing going on here, that's terribly interesting. You're not going to notice the mirror so much, as opposed to if you put a lot of a repetitive pattern. So you can see that this part of the pattern here is over here, but it's not really that notable. Okay, next up, let's do a, first of all, edit, delete by type, history, save, display, show all. Great, and let's see here. We're going to slice this thing up. So let's cut this guy up, shift right click, insert edge loop tool. Let's do multiples, and we're going to do one going that way. And we're also going to create another one with relative distancing here, but we're going to match it over, whoops, to this one there, because the cut, not that it really matters that much, but we're going to grab these elements here. So that's one side of this. So let's go to UVs, and we're going to go to planar, we're going to go to best, and we're going to do keep image. Actually, we don't want to keep the image. Actually, we do in this case, because we'll end up squashing the squares, the checkerboard, and you'll really notice that. So that's the size of that checkerboard there. We're going to have some issues here with this side. We might need to extend, or I don't know, we'll have to possibly change the scaling of this room to make it fit a little bit better with our texture. For right now, let us go ahead and make the cuts, and we'll see what we end up with. Go to multiples, and let's cut here and over there, and that's very rectangular now. Let's grab the ceiling and hide that out so we make easier selections. Grab the walls, right click, existing materials, and let's just use the wall one for now. So let's do bathroom, let's checker floor. Let's grab the floor and do existing material and bathroom checkered floor. Okay, let's cut that floor in half. And let's go ahead now and do UVs, planar, hit the G key on that one as well. We can see how very different the scale of these are. Not something that's particularly nice, right? So that's it. You can see how offset it is. So what we might want to do is, let's create a plane, D and V, its location over there, there. And what I want to do is actually increase the width and height of these together. Whoops. Actually, maybe I want to do this a little bit differently. So let's do plane. Let's just do 2. It can stay centered there. And let's grab, so you are going to go to there. So you're 3. So what does that go to? So let's do 4 and 4. So 3 is there. So how far out is that? So you would go a little bit further out that way. So let's grab that wall here and just push this out. And we'll do the same thing with this wall over here. We'll just push it out to there. Delete that one. Now we'll just take these ones, move them out to there. All I'm trying to do is, the floor is the one of the more trickier parts because it is these squares, and I just don't want to screw them up. So I'm going to make them equal, and then I'm going to go back in here and screw with everything later on and make it work out properly. Push that, whoops. Vertex mode, thank you, and X to you. Sorry, V-snap to you, and V-snap to you. Save, and I screwed that up, didn't I? What I really want to do is keep that relationship. So you should come back over here, and all of you together should end up moving somewhere, you know, over there, wherever that is exactly, wherever over there actually is, which I'd have to figure out at some point in the future. Okay. Now let's work on a few other bits. So these guys, let's just go to UVs and planar them. Well, planar in the opposite. Let's not use best plane, but let's use, what is this? The Z-axis, apply, and then we'll have to play with those ones so they come out properly. Let's do the same thing over here. Whoa, let's do X and X, X and X. Okay. So we've got some inconsistencies, especially in the corners where these objects come into play. You can see a mirroring right there. We might want to adjust the texture to make this work. Here you can see a problem right there, where this seam and this one don't really marry together at all. So let's go to this one. These two go to our windows. I think I had one side that actually properly worked. So let's just flip this across. So bring over here and do a flip. over here and do a flip there and take a look at what we have. And now it's going to be better for us to go in there and adjust the texture because we're getting these bad mirroring problems right here and here. And that property, or whatever you want to call it, stain, is so notable, so there, that you see it immediately and it looks like junk. So it's probably something we should also fix on the texture side of things, and we'll probably do that once we jump into the Photoshop side of things in the following video. I just don't want to go and do it right now. Why not? Let's actually try to do that right now. So open. Okay, so here's a bathroom wall. Our image size is 2048 by 2048. So let's find the offending texture, which is that one. Let's go to filter, other, offset, and we don't want vertical offset. We only want horizontal, and that should be 1024 if we want this to be easy. And there's the problem right there. So let's just go in here and healing tool that. And already that's a lot better. So let's we can just leave that as it is. Another problem that we do have in the base texture is this. Ugh, that looked bad. Is this offensive little element right there. You know what? I didn't do a great job, did it? Let's go back here. Let's see what happens if we... All right. I think that's a little bit better. I didn't want to... Okay, we'll go with that. What about this lower seam? Anything right there? I don't see it really. Okay, so save, file, save as, PNG, and textures. Let's jump over to bathroom wall, yes. Okay, come on down. Loaded it in, a little bit better, not perfect, but better than what we were dealing with. And really, I can go in now and undo the mirroring that was causing us some problems. So face, grab you guys, and with the UVs, let's just do the flip back the other way. Whoops, move that off screen. And it's a little bit nicer on the eyes. Still some gunk there, but not too bad. Let's see. This is not to right size. Okay, that needs to get fixed. Verts, please, you two, and X. There we are. Right? Yes. Okay. So there's that. So we've got our basic looking stuff done. The ceiling too, right? Display, window, display, modify, display, show, all. There's our ceiling, which also needs to be fixed. So let's go in here, right click, grab these two, W, and V it on over, V that on over, F8, great, save. So that all works. So let's hide it, and let's go through and hide everything else that we've done so far. Hide, and let's see what else we have to work with. So really quick, let's grab... All right, so let's go ahead and start the supporting elements back here. So this is a really easy one. It's just a plank of wood. So let's go ahead and bring in a cube, scale this on down, and scale it that way as well. Let's do D and V to the back and V over to here. Bring that up probably. And why don't we just move this to the entirety of that wall, something like that. Let's just make sure that's centered. It is, so we're good. Now we just need the bits that go under the bottom. Let's just create another cube. Scale that thin, scale that down in this direction as well, and then further in this direction. Before we do anything else, move it towards the back, frame up, right click, go to the top, delete the top of it. We're not going to see that. We are going to take this element, move that in, and we're going to grab this entire edge, extrude that edge up. Let's do something like that maybe. Let's see if this works. And let's do DV up here and up, V up, and snap that in there. Right click verts, Click, click. Anyone want to click? There you go. Click, please. Wrong object. There we go. There we are. F8. Grab all the things in the back. Come on. Let's do D. Oh, I know why. I don't want you. You're causing me issues. So V back there. Oh, you're getting in my way, world. Let's hide you for a second. Verts, grab you. Move you on up. Grab you. Move you on over. And what I am going to do is modify, center the pivot on this, and D and up and V to the top. Now I'm going to cut this thing up so I've got points to work with. So let's go to Shift right click and insert edge loop tool. Let's do, what do we want, 5? Yeah, something like that. And then we'll be placing one of these at each of those locations so that we can delete those if we want to afterwards. So over here, vertex snap, let's go to show, options, what is it? Shading, wireframe unshaded. Move this one, V, Control D, V, Control D, V, Control D, and V over there. So there's our sections. So if I'd done these as instances, this part would probably be a little bit easier in a few seconds. But we wanted, let's just combine them. And let's see, you didn't get added, so let's do you as well. And right click verts, come over here, grab all of you, sync you in a bit. F8, grab the top, and let's do right click edge. Let's see, what did that grab? Grab that bit, and that bit. And let's grab this bit as well. And we'll grab these two and these two, and right click bevel. Segments to 3 and fraction lower, something like that. Okay. We'll leave these the way they are. Grab this element, let's freeze them or combine them. I'm going to do D and V to the back up there, save that, display, show all again, so I know what I'm working with. And now that we have that, I'm going to hide this floor. Let's start placing these elements. So this one was down there, right up against the floor. Shift D, move this one up somewhere here. Shift D and Shift D. So that's probably about right. Let's take a look at our reference. So you have one at the floor, then up, up, up. It might be a little bit large here and there. Actually, if anything, we're probably going to want more space. So we might want to reposition these a little bit. But this is something we'll be playing with as we add the heads, because they'll need a certain amount of space, depending on what we do. We can take all of these now if we want to. Undo that. I'm just going to group them together really quick. Rotate that entire, well, let's do modify center the pivot of the group and do a Control D, rotate 90 degrees, and stick this group over here. And stick it, let's see, D, V to the back, and V to that side. No, V to that side. And then stick it somewhere in there, and then we'll have to do probably the same thing again over here. All right, rather than waste any more time, let's just, I'm not going to actually duplicate this because we're going to need to texture this thing, and then we're going to cut off maybe a little bit of it and then move it over to the other side. So the last bit that we really need to work on is the table itself, and the table is absolutely nothing terribly difficult. It looks like it's just 4 legs and a top, so let's just throw that in here really fast. Actually, you know what? It looks like these supports are, from this side, actually are missing the back end. So the question is that important enough for us to change? We might change it, we might not. It would require us just simply making maybe a cut from this end to that end right there, and then cutting out the back and then merging those together. So we might do that later on. Anyway, let's get on this table. So let's just create a tabletop, something here like this. Typically wider than it is long. We need some space in here to work, so we'll move this up to a height of probably around there. And let's just see here. So maybe thinner. And you really don't have a lot of space to work here. but I guess that's okay. We can, let's get rid of the floor as I'm working. So we can, what do we want to do? How do we want to do this? We can just create the geometry and have the legs peg in. We can make this part of it if we want to. Let's just bevel this thing really quick, make it easy. We're only going to worry about the top on this one. Actually, we probably should have only done the top bevels on these shelves since it gets duplicated so many times and you really might not ever notice it or see it. So once again, feel free to make that change. Segments 2, 3, and something like that. It's a worn table. Save, and let's just create some legs. So create a leg going over here. Thin that leg on down. So find my gizmo for that, for those constraining those two axes, something like that. And now let's move it. Let's go to the top view, frame up. There we are. And let's just move this. Let's just eyeball it. Control D. Actually, if we do this, we should probably make the one and get it perfect first. So let's do right click, face, grab the top, delete, right click, verts, grab the verts, move them up to the bottom of this, and then grab these and hit X somewhere around there, and then grab this one and delete that one, and then grab the bottom of this and scale that down a little bit, but then move the whole thing D and V over, and then I'm going to push it out so that that bit I want to be flat with those ones. Right? Is that what we want? Let's look at it from the top. So not only that, let's do D and V there, but let's make this bit flat with that one. Okay? And that ends up making our leg. And we can go ahead and grab this edge if we want to, and these two, and bevel those out. And I'm going to increase that, and segments 2, 3. F8, there we are, save. And let's go to shading, X-ray wireframe. There we are, and edit, delete by type, history, Control D, move this over here. And we just need to rotate this one 90 degrees going this way, so negative 90. And let's see, looking up at it from this direction, let's see, what do we have for this object here? So we've got these values, so that's 0.475 over there. So if I grab this one, this should be a negative for that one, and then because that's the X direction, so it should be the same for each. We can take both of these, duplicate them, and then move them up here. Then we want to rotate each of these properly, so they're each going to get rotated. What? This one goes like that, and then this one goes around like that, and this is going to be 180, and this one is going to be 90. Enter. And since this table is not centered, I don't know how far off that is, so I'm just going to wing it. It's not like it needs to be perfect. There's no reason for it to be perfect. We can just get it close enough. Let me take a look down here. That's not exactly perfect, so I'm going to do that, and then grab these and this, and then do that. Save. There. And there's our table. Just taking a second look at it, making sure the legs make sense. That all makes sense, so good. So great. That is a good bit of the modeling for this scene. The next bit, probably the next video, is going to be finishing up. We got to put these wires everywhere that are coming down, which I guess control stage lights and whatnot. We're not going to put the animatronics in because I haven't finished modeling mine. When I'm done, I'll just be able to rip those animatronic heads and endoskeletons out and then put them wherever I see fit. So my life will be pretty easy. And then hopefully we'll immediately start texturing this thing and getting this room finished. See you next time, everyone. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give me a like. If you disliked it, don't only just give me a dislike, but also tell me why. And if you want more material like this in the future, remember to subscribe. See you next time. Bye.